Do you have a room where the temperatures often quickly soar in the summer because the sun shines in? There are different ways to block the sun. You can choose sun-blocking curtains, but blocking the sun before it enters works even better. In this episode, we show you how to very easily make your own sunshade to make the room a lot cooler and more comfortable. How your sunshade will look, that's simple, just like a fly screen. You make a frame and stretch, this time not mosquito netting, but sun-blocking fabric over it. We guide you through the steps. The frame will be built in wood. It is very important to choose the right wood for your project, because before you know it, your wood starts to rot. You must restart. DIY is fun, but doing the work twice, no one likes. To make the right choice of wood, you first need to know specifically what the wood will be used for. In the application of sunshades, the wood will need to withstand various weather conditions. Your sunshade might stay outside all year round. If that is the case, it is best to choose thermally treated wood. Wood provided with a weather-resistant coating or hardwood such as Meranti or oak. How much wood you need, you can only know once you have all the measurements of your window. Measure the inside of the frame. Later, you will use clamps to secure the sunshade here. It is vital the inner frame of the window matches the inner frame of your sunshade. Check how wide your window profiles are. This way you know the extent to which your wooden slats should not exceed to fit properly and precisely into the window opening. You can quickly draw a plan to make sure everything is correct. Start with the internal dimensions. Because the wooden slats are wider than the window profiles, we need to make the inner dimensions of the frame smaller. The clamps are only attached to the horizontal profiles, so if you ensure that those measurements remain consistent with the internal dimensions of the window, you should not encounter any problems during the process of installation. You need exactly 2x2 of the same length for the beams and the uprights of your frame. So we can save some time here. Mark on one of the wooden slats. Align the slats and secure them with tape. This way, you can cut both slats to the correct length in one motion. You can shorten the slats with a miter saw, but you can just as well use a handsaw or a jigsaw for this. With the miter saw, you can be completely sure that your cut will be straight. Make sure that when you need to saw long pieces of wood, they are well supported. Place the boards on a support block. This ensures that the wood lies flat and the saw cut will be straight. Ensure your ears and eyes are well protected while sawing. Repeat these steps for the other pairing board. To build the frame, we will use a connection with screws and glue. For this we need screws, a square, a drill with a bit, construction glue, and clamps, such as these. We will use a specifically designed drilling jig for making the wood joint. The jig allows you to make a drill hole at a specific angle, ensuring accuracy. A screw is then inserted in order to properly form the angle. You can also opt for a securely fitted dowel joint. Here you drill a hole perpendicular in both pieces of wood. Using a wooden pin, the dowel, you can now connect. Carefully form the first corner with your wooden slats on the workbench. Make sure it is exactly 90 degrees. For that, use a tri-square. Determine the center of the slat so that your drill hole is nicely and precisely centered. Attach the drill guide between your workpiece and a clamp. The accessory will guide the drill through the wood. The other wooden plank is secured with 2 clamps. Place a piece of scrap wood between your workpiece and the clamps. This wood will ensure that the pressure from the clamps is evenly distributed over the board. It will also reduce the chance of your wood splitting. Now that the corner is completely fixed, you can drill. The drill hole will just reach the end of your slat, but will not touch the next piece of wood yet. You can also drill for that, but here it is not necessary. If we take a closer look at the drill, you will see that the shaper ensures that the deepest part of the drill hole has the size of the screw thread. The rest will be wide enough for the head of the screw. Now that you have properly prepared the hole for the connection, release the clamp and apply glue. Glue will provide more strength than a screw because glue creates a total bond, whereas the screw will only secure the connection. Since the sunshade must stay outside both during the winter and summer, you can opt for a strong construction adhesive for wood. Make sure to protect your hands when working with construction adhesive. Carefully attach the slat back to the workbench at a 90-degree angle. Secure it again with a clamp securely. You do not want your wood to move while you are screwing. It will ensure that your wood does not fit nicely at all. The first joint is now made. Now, connect the next corners in the same way. Place at a right angle, pre-drill, spread glue, and screw tight. Those are the steps you need to follow. Always check if your workpiece has the correct angle. If you make a large frame, you better place additional support slats in the middle. Here you can choose thinner slats, or you can use slats of the same thickness. Measure the exact dimensions precisely and cut them to the correct length accurately and carefully. Where do you want your support profiles to be located? It is best to mount them horizontally in the frame. Make sure that the slats are definitely not attached at eye level, as they can properly obstruct your view. Find the midpoint of the side and place your slats 15 centimeters below and 15 centimeters above that midpoint. We place the slats flush with the plane of the front where your fabric will be placed. This way, the sunshade can also be attached to the support slats later, and the fabric will be tighter. If your support slat is thinner, choose a different connection. First, find where the slat will be positioned in the frame. Find the center and mark the frame. Also measure the slat thickness. Drive the screws perpendicularly through the frame into the slat. It is important the drill hole is in the middle of the support slat. Mark where the drill hole will be. Make sure your drill is as wide as the thread of the screw you will be using. Determine where the head of the screw will come. Drill a hole in the frame. Then take a drill with which you can countersink the head of the screw. To determine how deep you need to drill, you can tape off your drill bit. Your precision drill also carefully indicated the support slat. Pre-drill this thoroughly to prevent the wood from splitting. Apply some glue and fasten securely the support wood with the screw. You repeat this for the 4 screws. This way, the thin slats are firmly secured in the profile and provide some extra stability. The slats will also make it easier to put the sunshade in and out of your window. Time to bring out your sunshade fabric. We are using an old sunscreen, but you can easily get the job done with a sunshade fabric. Lay cloth flat over your frame. Cut the sides of the fabric and allow for some extra margin. Secure the corners and stretch the fabric evenly. Depending on your choice of wood, you can secure the fabric with staples or tacks. Staples will be easier to hammer into hardwood than tacks with a stapler. Use clamps to properly tension and hold the fabric. Secure one side. Hammer the staples into the wooden frame. If possible, push the staples diagonally into the fabric. The fabric will be securely fastened and less likely to tear. Make sure the staples are in the same line. Later, we want to hide the staples with finishing profiles. Then proceed to the opposite side. Tension the fabric. Place clamps. and secure the fabric with staples. Move to the next corner and then repeat the steps. For the middle two slats, we use a stapler. Here, the staples do go into the wood. Now you can carefully trim the excess fabric to make it easier to work. Secure a long ruler with 2 clamps. Along this, you can precisely cut the sun-blocking fabric with a utility knife. If you want, you can place finishing profiles on the staples. Make sure your profile is equidistant from the edge of the frame everywhere for a good finish. Mark how long the finishing slats need to be. Place them at a right angle. Fix them to the frame with small nails. You also tighten the finishing profiles with a clamp so that they do not move when you start working with the nails. Work side by side until all the slats are fixed. Now cut the fabric to size. The finishing slats on your frame can serve as a guide along which you can cut the fabric. It's best to use a utility knife so you can easily move along the wood. Finally, you need to ensure that the sunshade effectively and securely stays in your window. You can use mounting clamps for that. For each clamp you place, you need 2 screws, the clamp, and a spring. The springs will help lift the frame in and out of your window. They create play. Measure carefully on your window how far your clamp will lie in the window. Approximately. Hold the clamp in the correct position relative to the frame and mark the drill holes. This way, you can be sure that your clamp will fit over the window profile. Make the drill holes and then place the screws, springs and the clamp firmly into the pre-drilled holes. For a large window, it is best to use 4 clamps. One side is equipped with a spring and the other side without. If all the clamps are correctly mounted, you can place your sunshade in your window. Curious if it fits and if you have used the correct measurements? This will at least save a room from extreme heat in the summer.